Hello everyone, my name is Renee Baribeau and I'm known as the Practical Shaman. Truth be told, all shamanism is practical because the shamans in the village were concerned with the health and well-being of their villagers, the health and well-being of and reproduction of their animals, and the community health as a whole. And today now more than ever, we need a lot of shamans. We need the Paco I learned from in Peru used to say that the Westerners were the new shamans, and I think that's because we are really leading the way to believe that we have to stand up for this earth, our community, and the people that we hold near and dear, our families, our friends. And in the last year or so, we've had some really tumultuous winds out there, and these winds. There's winds of separation and disagreement and disharmony, and this book that I've written called Winds of Spirit is about how we can learn to cooperate with the wind. And when we learn to cooperate with the wind, we then can align to our magnetic north. And what is our magnetic north? Magnetic north is the sweet spot when you're right in the center of your life's mission. You wake up every day, you're thrilled because you're doing your life's work. Whether it's driving a bus full of children, working in a post office, leading thousands of people on mass stages, because we all have different purposes and we all have different ways of getting there. And this book is become my mission about helping these winds share their message out into the world. And if you told me 10 years ago that I'd be writing a book about the winds, I probably would have thought, no way, no how. In fact, I have a good friend who told me that I'd be working with magnetics and creating a healing system around it. And I thought, oh, she's so etheric, she's channeling whoever she's channeling, but it didn't make any sense to me. And all of a sudden, I abandoned the first book that I wrote for personal reasons, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll write a book, Is Your Compass Pointing True North? And what I didn't know was anything about a compass. That's just kind of like me to get this idea and run out the door half-cocked. But in any case, when I got back to looking at the compass, I found myself back in the 3500 BC in the Feng Shui compass. And what I realized was that the original compass, and the compasses are still fashioned after this, although we have satellites and we're way beyond that. But the basic compass is fashioned from the way our body responds to our own magnetic attachment to this earth. That a compass was a lodestone floating in a bowl of water, and it always pointed north and south. And if we align to our own bodies, which are quite a good deal of water, we also will be aligned to the earth, and then we'll know the right things to do in our lives because our body will always tell us. And the body is like your Cadillac, your spiritual vessel that helps you lead your spiritual life. We need these bodies, and so when we pay attention to them, it can tell us everything we need to know. And how does the wind come into this? Well, when I was researching the compass, I went from 3500 BC up to the 15th century, and I learned that on Aristotle's compass card, which was basically a flat piece of cardboard that hung, and they learned to set that to the same magnetic field, but all of the points that they had on this compass card were wind points. That got my curiosity going. Wind points, how interesting. And from that, I took this other leap that all of a sudden I started finding mythology and stories. Like, for example, Mary Poppins came in on an east wind. In the Bible, there's 23 mentions of the east wind and only 3 of the west wind. You go all the way back to the tablets of Mesopotamia, and there's the story of Adepa and the south wind. But then my curiosity got going on, especially on the mythology and the indigenous stories, And I found that almost all the cultures that I visited, and probably they all do, but I haven't visited them all yet, had um, had wind gods and goddesses. That in Turkey, the Yuruk, the nomads in the desert were wind believers. And the more and more I looked, the more and more my fascination grew. And I went on an exploration, and in this book, there's 29 winds. One is no wind, and then the Cardinal Winds, which has structured our human reality since the beginning of time. And what do I mean by that? That every culture has a northeast, south, and west wind as the container for organizing your reality. That to me was really, a good starting place. But then as I got into each wind, it became fascinating that wind is not just wind, that each of these characters in here have their own set of circumstances, their own job description, their own circle of influence. And that's how you can use this book. You can go in and open to a wind. How very interesting. There's some winds that come up all the time in my life and some winds that rarely come up. But the wind that I just pulled is the wind that I pulled for 2018. And maybe she's the wind that's guiding the release of this book. And it's the Latvian wind, Vegemate. And by the way, I did receive a nice email from someone from Latvia thanking me for including their wind mother in this book. So what I just opened it up to Vegemate in the East. And what it says is, optimism lies at the core of the Latvian nature worship. The Wind Mother offers an endless supply of goodness, which is available to those who pay homage to nature. Everything is possible when you take responsibility for your actions. Climb a mountain and sing your praises for the gifts she has bestowed upon you. And in the Wind Believers group, we have a gratitude challenge going on. And sometimes it's just as simple as, today I'm grateful that I woke up and the winds are blowing. Look at, as we're talking about her, here she comes. Can you see the movement in the trees? Are you prone to telling disruptive stories or songs? Vegemate encourages you to focus your attention on the abundant gifts of nature and to be grateful for the air you breathe. If luck continues to pass you by, Vegemate reminds you to forge ahead confidently because luck will eventually find you. Beware of envy, mistrust, and jealousy. How easy is that? You just open up to a wind in the morning and get yourself started, aligning to your magnetic north, aligning to your day. And in this book, there's lots of other techniques. I didn't make these up. These techniques, including the one of wind knots, came from the 13th century Lapland sailors who used to go to the wind witches for wind knots. And I tied these yesterday on a Facebook Live for Hay House. And during it, this first wind knot, you put in the energy, and I did it with my breath, but you could go out on the top of a windy mountain and do it, is when you need a little extra oomph to your day, when you need some energy. This is about intensity and managing your energy. The second one is when you need a little more oomph in your life. Say you need a few new clients or you're going in for a job interview, then you might open the second one. And this third one I've marked because when you unleash your third wind knot, what happens is it's going to turn your world upside down. Like in the sailing days when they unleashed that third wind knot, it would be to get their boats home, but there was always the risk of getting lost at sea because it usually would create a storm, not such smooth sailing. And you might be questioning, why would you want to unfurl a wind knot that is going to tip your life upside down on your head? Because sometimes you need that. One time when I was doing a shaman practice and they had a different practice, and when I undid that third wind knot per se, I came home, I got fired from a job within 2 weeks, and it set me on my spiritual journey closer to the center of my magnetic north. Sometimes we get caught in a rut and we need that third wind knot. There's also in here a method of how to call to a wind. And this is a wind whistle that are being made in Mexico, handcrafted by a pinch pot. They're being handmade, and I'm going to blow it for you so you get a sense of what it is to call into the wind. And since we invited in Vegemite, we're going to call to her today. And I'm going to stand up because we realize that when I stand, it allows you to breathe the whole way in. Let's see, do we need to switch this just a little bit? I'm out here in the garden because when I call to the wind and the winds come, and that's how Spirit works in your life. When you call to the winds and you invite them into your life, they will come and they will show up and they will assist you on your journey. And as I said, I'm a practical shaman, so this was news to me. And it took me instance after instance after instance when the winds showed up to confirm or show me the lesson that I was about to learn till I finally really got it. All right, so we're going to call to the wind. In the first wind, we're going to call in and we're going to connect ourselves to the earth. This is an earth-based practice. And what does that mean? It means that in order to really align to your magnetic north, it's essential you reconnect to the earth. It's where we, as humans, are most at home. And sometimes if you live in a big city, it's as simple as going out, standing where there's tree belts or something like that, touching the tree, inviting the wind into your life. We all have access to nature. And if you don't have access to nature, you're locked in a room somewhere, then you have access to nature in your mind. You can go there, you can visit these places. So the first wind whistle, we're going to connect into the earth. The second one, we're going to invite Vegemite to come in, and she's already gently here. She's a nourishing wind. And the third wind, we're going to actually invite her to put a popo, an energy field around us so that we can interpret the signs that we're hearing. Are you ready? If you're comfortable, close your eyes. Remember, the first one's connecting you to the earth, the second one's connecting you to Vegemite, and the third one's creating an energy vortex for yourself so that you can stay aligned to hear the messages that keep you connected in your own life. Not my life, your life. Remember, sailors, they steer their ships from their own helm. I'm not steering your ship, you're not steering my ship. All of this valuable information is in this book, so hopefully it's right side so you can see it. It's Winds of Spirit coming out with Hay House really soon. You can have it in your hands next week if you order today. All right, let's see if you resonate with the winds. Feel those roots. Feel that watery body of yourself connecting into the magnetic field, that you're the magnet, that you get that guidance. And in the next one, call in the Latvian wind mother, Vegemite. Feel her gentle breeze across your face, across your body. See her whispering in the tree leaves. And now we're going to invite her to protect us, to guide us. And for me, Vegemite has come out from my wind sack. You know, winds are kept in bags and in caves throughout time, and you can read about the history here. But she's come out, if I say 6 times since the New Year's, because the disruptive winds of last year really disembodied us and disenfranchised us. And it's time that we start to use these winds to understand that we all breathe the same air. This wind, this Vegemite that we just invited in from Latvia, is going to go around the world in a few short days. And that's what connects us as humanity. So please, if you resonate with this work at all, go over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the Practical Shaman website, Hay House's website, and order this book. And join us over at the Wind Clan. And look, at the winds are here, they're happy. The breeze is so gentle, so nourishing. And hopefully you can feel that in your life and in your heart, and that you want to go over and order this book today. And if you're a Kindle reader, I'd suggest getting both. The Kindle that you can carry with you, and the book that you can just flip open as needed. All right, I'm Renee, I'm the Practical Shaman, and looking forward to sharing this wind journey with you. Have a great day.